إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في القرآن الكريم في سورة الأنعام آية 162 إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين. Indeed, my prayer, my sacrifice, my life and my death are for all Allah Rabbul Izzah, the Lord of the worlds. Today, we are celebrating one of the happiest days. By the rahmah and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the greatest day, one of the greatest festival in the Islam, the Eid al-Adha, the festival of sacrifice, which is also known as Eid al-Kabir, the great Eid. It is the day of joy. It is day for getting together, and it is day for eating and being happy. As you know, we celebrate this day in order to align ourselves, in order to recharge ourselves, in order to recalibrate ourselves according to the life of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, according to the life of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, according to the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. فقد ثبت عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه قال أعظم الأيام عند الله يوم النحر ثم يوم الكبر رواه أحمد وأبو داود وحاكم والباني. Sayyidina Abu Dawud has related this hadith. He said that Rasulullah said, the greatest day among the days of Allah is the day of Nahar, and then the day of Kir. The day of Nahar, of course, is the today. Today is the day of Nahar. It's the day of the sacrifice, sacrificing the animal for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Above all, this is the day in which we celebrate our relationship with the special friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the day in which we show the gratitude to the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guiding us to be among the millat of that special friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, among the millat of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ثُمَّ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ أَنِ اتَّبِعْ مِلَّةَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَمَا كَانَ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Then we reveal to you, O Muhammad, to follow the religion of the Ibrahim, inclined towards the truth, and he was not one of those people who associated with Allah. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was not one of those people who was mushrik. He was not one of those people who associated anybody with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are honored to be among the millat of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. The message that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought, it is not a new message. This is the same message that Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam brought. And as you know, before the Nabuwah was assigned to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will used to go into the cave of Hira for several days and he will worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will do tafakkur. He will think the things that are going around him. And Mufakkrin and Mufassirin, they also mentioned that when Rasulullah was in the cave of Hira, when he was worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala there, he was worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to the way of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Even though there was shirk, even though it was the time of the Jahiliyyah, but still those people, they knew Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. So that was the path. Even the Rasulullah was not Nabi at that time, that he was following that path. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was the mother of Islam. He came to Allah with a qalb salim, with a pure heart, with a sound heart. And he dedicated, he submitted his life to the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inni wajjahtu wajhiya lillazi fatara as-samawati wal arda hanifa wa ma ana min al-mushrikeen. For me, I have set my face firmly towards the one who has created the heavens and the earth, and never shall I associate anybody with us. As you know, that Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, from his childhood, when he was a young child, he used his own intellectual, he used his own mind to see all that was going on. All those people and the society was worshipping, that was false. And they were not God. He knew that these idols were not the God. And his Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was born and he grew up in the family which was a high-class family. And this was the family, his father was the idol manufacturer and he was the seller of the idols. And when Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was a young child, he would used to climb up the idols and he would pull their ears and he would say, "Why don't you speak?" Even as a child, he knew that. And then his father would give him these idols and he would tell him to go and sell these idols in the market, or he would tell him to go and deliver these idols to the merchants who he has sold them. And Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he would tie up a rope around the neck of those idols and he would drag them in the streets. And when these people would see these idols being treated like that, sometimes they would just come out and they would buy them. "Don't drag our father, our gods, just here's the money, just sell it." This was one of the way that he was selling the idols also. And then, as he grew up a little bit, he realized what was going on in the society and how the society was deeply rooted in the idol worshipping. And so from young age he knew that. And one day, as whole town was celebrating a celebration and they were all out of the town and there was nobody in the town, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam took a big hammer with him. And he went to the place where they had all those idols over there. And that was the place they would come and they would worship the idols. So he swung his hammer and he broke all the idols, except the big one. And then he placed the hammer on the shoulder of the big idols. And he went his home. So as the evening happened and these people came back and they saw what had happened to their idols. And they said, "Who has done this to our gods?" So someone said, "There's a boy named Ibrahim. He must have done this." So a court is set up and Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam is called upon. And they asked him, "Ibrahim, do you know who did this?" And this was the moment that Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam was waiting for. And he said, "Why don't you ask the big one? He is the one with the hammer. He must have done it." And they say, "Ibrahim, you know our gods cannot talk, and you know they cannot protect themselves, and you know they cannot harm anybody." Then Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam replied, "Then why do you worship them? They cannot even save themselves. How can they save you? They cannot even protect themselves. How can they give you the protections?" And these people, they could not reply. So the court ordered to burn Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam to the death. So they set up a big fire. The wood was collected, a big mountain of the wood was collected, and the fire was set up. And the fire was let burn for several days, so it can get very intense, it can get very hot. The flames can go very high. The trenches were dug underneath the mountain of the fire, so the oxygen can be provided, so the fire can burn and burn. And once the fire was lit up, and it was so hot, even a bird could not fly over it. And that's when they realized that nobody can go closer to the fire because it was very hot. So how did they throw Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam into the fire? So the shaitan came to them, and he told them, use the manjanik. It's an equipment that has a spoon shape and it's tied up in the bottom with the rubber bands. So they put Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam in the spoon, and as they throw him into the fire, Sayyidina Jibreel comes to him and says, Ya Ibrahim, you need help. And Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam asked him, did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send you? He said, no, I came on my own. So he said, then the one who has created me, he knows what position I am in. He knows what I am going through. He will protect me. I don't need your help. And upon that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders the fire. Kulu burdan salam. O fire, do not harm Ibrahim. Be cold. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a condition with the cold, that do not be so cold that you might freeze Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam to the death. And do not be so hard that you might burn it. Burda salama, with the peace. History does not tell us that how long Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam stayed in the fire. But long after this happened, one time he was asked, what were the best days of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam? And he replied, the time that I spent in the fire, those were the best days of my life. So after this, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam left his hometown. He left his family, and he became a muhajir. He became a muhajir Nabi, a refugee as they call it today. He traveled from town to town. He traveled from country to country, and he lived in the jungle, and he lived in the cities. So as the king hears about this, that what had happened to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he calls upon him, and he calls him to his court, and said, I am the God. I am Rabbul Alam. Who is this Rabb that you worship? So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam tells him, my God is the one who gives life and death. So the king says, I give life and I give death. So he calls two prisoners from the prison. And he ordered one to be hanged, and he ordered other one to be freed. And he says, see, I give death and I give life. And Sayyidina Ibrahim salam was a very smart person. He was not going to get bogged down into this agreement that, oh, this is not life and this is not death. So you did not create the life, you did not create the death. But he said, okay, if it's this what you call life and death, then how about this? My God is the one, my Rabb is the one who brings the sun out of the east and he sets it into the west. If you are Rabb, then bring the sun out of the west and set it into the east. And of course, he could not do that. So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam goes from country to country and he invites people towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we celebrated this day today, the day that has the practice of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, that we are celebrating the same practice, there's a lesson for us in that practice. As Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam grows older, he realized that he has no kids, that he has no children. And there's nobody who would take the message that he has and to invite other people towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as the story goes, and you all know this story, but I want to mention it, it's a reminder for me, and it is a reminder for you. And the khutbah is all about reminding, it is all about getting the lessons. That same story that we have all read many times in the Quran. The stories are in the Quran for us to learn. Stories are not there just for the sake of stories, but they are there to get the lesson out of that story. So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam makes dua to Allah Rabbul Izzah to grant him a son in his old age. And he is given the glad tidings of having a righteous son, a son that is a Halim, as we know Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam. So, if we look in our life, if we see somebody in the old age, when you have a son or you have a daughter, and there's so much happiness in the house, there's so much happiness around the house, in the family and everybody, that the child is never let to be on the bed. He can never sleep, because if he is in the lap of dad, then the mother is taking him. And if the mother wants to put him down, somebody else wants to carry the child. But yet at this time, as he is given a child in his old age, there is another test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala waiting for him. And he is ordered to take the child and his mother to leave them in the valley of Makkah. A valley where there is no shade, a valley there is no tree, a valley there is no food, a valley there is so hard, there is no water. And as he is leaving his family over there, and he walks away, and his wife runs after him, and she says, Ibrahim, you're leaving us here alone. Who you're trusting, who you're depending? There's no water, there's no food, there's no shade in this valley. And Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam does not reply, and he just keeps walking. And she runs in front of him, and she asks him, has your God ordered you to leave us here? And he looks up, and then he walks away again, and he keeps walking. And she realizes that, and she comes back, and she says, if your God has ordered you to leave us over here, then you go on, we have no worry. The one who has ordered you to leave us here, he is the one who is going to take care of us. We are not worried. And as the story goes on, that after so many years, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam comes back again. And he sees his son to be grown up, a handsome youth, a strong young man. And as we know, when we have the children, and how much we love them, and when they grow a little bit older, we even love them more. We depend upon them in our old age, and we hope to see them grow up to be our right arm. And yet at this time, another test is waiting for Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. He is being tested, he is being cleansed. As you know, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves somebody, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests them even more. Like you put the gold in the fire to cut out all the dust and dirt and all the impurities that gold has, so the gold can become pure. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves somebody, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests them more. So Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam talks to his son and he says, Ya son, I have seen a dream that I am slaughtering you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what a Halim, righteous son. A son who knows his dad. A son who did not say, Dad, what has happened to you? Dad, have you gone mad? After so many years that you left me alone, now you come back and you want to slaughter me. No, he was not a son like that. He was not a son who grew up to be like that. He did not have a mother like that who raised a child and she said, it's just you and me, son. It's just you and me. Your father left us here. He did not take of you, my son. It was me who grew you up. It was me who went through the hardship. It was me who brought you the food. Your dad was nowhere to be around. And now he has come back and he's calling you dad. She was not a mother like that. She was the wife of a Nabi and she was the mother of a Nabi. She raised him to be a righteous son. She raised him to be a smart man who realized that his dad is not an ordinary dad, but his dad is the one who is the Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he himself was a Nabi. And he says, Satajiduni. Satajiduni, inshallah. You will find me among the Sabirin. You will not find me those people who would complain. If that is the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then my dad, do not put me on the ground when you are about to slaughter me, my face up. Because if you see my face, if you look into my eye, you might feel bad. And your hand might shake, you might tremble, and you might change your mind. He said, no, put me upside down, so you will not be able to look at me. You will not be able to look at my eyes. And as Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam is about to slaughter his son, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls upon him, قَدْ صَدَّقْتَ الرُّؤْيَا إِنَّ كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِيَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. O Ibrahim, you have we reward who do good deeds. My brothers and sisters, this is the sacrifice, the example of a man who has been purified through the trials and tribulations. Yet in each circumstance, in each resolve, his resolve is unmatched and his determination to please his Lord was unshakable. And he was a true. And as it goes on, that today we are celebrating his life and celebrating the practice that he did. Then what does it mean that when we sacrifice an animal? Does it mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs our meat? Does it mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs the blood of the animal? No. It means as that animal is submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as he is submitting his will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that his submission is an example for us to submit our life to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As it is said, Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alameen. Say, surely, truly my prayer, my service of sacrifice, my life and my death are all for Allah, the Lord of the world. The real question is, where is Allah in our life? What are we willing to sacrifice for the deen of Allah? How are we willing to live our lives? Are we completely immersed in the worldly pursuit and completely neglectful of our unlimited following of the dunya? Are we neglecting the life that is hereafter? Are we running after the luxuries of this life and forgetting the luxuries which are forever and ever after this life? My dear brothers and sisters, sacrifice is an essential requirement to test the sincerity of our iman and to fortify our position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This has been clearly demonstrated through the life of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. This does not mean that we cannot enjoy the life, that what we have the blessings and the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But our focus should be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our pursuit of the world should be for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for the sake of the pleasure of this world. So my brothers and sisters, when we stand up in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, are we really thinking of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? When we are standing up in salat, are we thinking about the dunya? Are we thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is our attention, is our focus in what we are reciting in the salah, or is focus is somewhere else? And same way, when we are going to our work, when we are driving, when we are spending our time with the children, when we are making our living, what is our focus? How do we want to spend that time? Is it just for the dunya? Are we living just because we are living? Are we living to make our life better in this dunya? Are we living our life to remember the life of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam? Are we living our life to live the way as it is ordered by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And how do we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He told us about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he brought this message through the message of the Quran. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he has said that he has left us the Quran and his Sunnah. So is our relationship with the Quran, how strong is our relationship with the Quran? Do we read the Quran for the barakah? Do we keep the Quran in our car or in our house for the barakah? Or do we read the Quran and we want to make sure that we finish the Quran within a month? Or we try to make sure that we finish the Quran in a whole year? Or we want to finish the Quran in the month of the Ramadan? That is the purpose of Quran. Or do we read the Quran so we can get the lesson from the Quran? Do we read the Quran so we can understand the Quran? That is the purpose of the Quran. My brother and sister, even if we read one ayah of Quran, even if it takes us a month to read one ayah, but if we are understanding that ayah, we are getting the message from that ayah, that what that ayah requires from me, then we are fulfilling the purpose. But if we are reading the Quran, of course we get the ajr from reciting the Quran. Of course Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give us the ajr. But if we do not understand, then how will we get the lesson from the Quran? How will, as they say, it's very famous and a lot of imams mention that you get a prescription from the doctor, and instead of reading that prescription, buying that medication and eating that so you can get well, but all you do is keep reading the prescription, keep reading it, and do not do what it tells you to do, you're not going to get well. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيبنا وحبيب رب العالمين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم أصلح لنا ديننا الذي هو عصمة أمرنا وأصلح لنا دنيانا التي فيها معاشنا وأصلح لنا آخرتنا التي فيها معادنا واجعل الحياة زيادة لنا في كل خير واجعل الموت راحة لنا من كل شر لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم سبحان الله رب العرش العظيم والحمد لله رب العالمين نسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والغنيمة من كل بر والسلامة من كل اسم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا حاجة هي لك رضا إلا وقضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم احفظ لنا المسجد الأقصى اللهم ارزقنا صلاة في المسجد الأقصى اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين عباد الله يرحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون اذكروا الله يذكركم وادعوه يستجب لكم واستغفروه لذنوبكم إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. All the mistakes and shortcomings in the khutbah are mine, especially the pronunciation of the Quran and the Hadith. I ask you brothers and sisters to please forgive me, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive me for my shortcomings also. And if there was anything good in the khutbah, it is purely from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.